the Nazis never realized and will never rest again until every Nazi dies.
Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Woke up one morning and there were soldiers. The invasion had begun. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. Oh, bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Lend me your shoulder, we'll stand together. But I feel my time has come, and if I die here for the resistance, oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. And if I die here for the resistance, you must lay me in my grave among the flowers upon the mountain. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Among the flowers upon the mountain, let me rest among the brave. Someday the people will pick the flowers. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Someday the people will pick the flowers, and they will remember my name. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of the resistance. Oh bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. This is the flower of the resistance, and those who died for liberty. This is the flower of our resistance, and those who died for liberty.
Come all of you good workers, good news to you I'll tell of how the good old Union has come in here to dwell.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
My daddy was a miner and I'm a miner's son, and I'll stick with the Union till every battle's won.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
They say in Harlan County there are no neutrals there. You'll either be a Union man or a thug for J.H. Blair.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Oh, workers, can you stand it? Oh, tell me how you can. Will you be a lousy scab or will you be a man?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Don't scab for the bosses, don't listen to their lies. Us poor folks haven't got a chance unless we organize.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
I was born in a Dublin street where the lion drums do beat, and the lovely English people walked all over us. And every single night when guitar will come home tight. He'd invite the neighbors out with his chorus. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway. From the green and lovely lace of Gilshandra. Come tell us how you slew them old Arabs 2 by 2. Like the Zulus, they had knives, bows, and arrows. Of how bravely you faced one with your 16-pounder gun. And you frightened all the natives to the marrow. Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway. From the green and lovely lace of Gilshandra. Come let us hear you tell how you stand the brave Parnell and taught them well and truly persecuted. Where are the stares and jeers that you proudly let us hear when our heroes of 16 were executed? Come out, you black and tans, come out and fight me like a man. Show your wife how you won medals down in Flanders. Tell her how the IRA made you run like Galloway from the green and lovely lakes of Gilshandra.
Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead. Ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch all with the wicked witch. Ding dong, the wicked witch is dead.
Oh, come out, you pretty sons, come out and fight without your guns.
Hello there, hello there, hello there, everybody. How the devil are we all? I'm very well. I thank you for asking. I am a disembodied voice for the time being, because we have yet another normal island, and by howdy do we have some island normality for you. I'm just going to jump into the old room. They're trying a new technical thing, so we'll see what happens with that. Allow while visiting this site, I suppose. Oh, it's a new thing. Ooh. I am Kevin Logan. What is it? Why is it not doing this? It won't let me join for some reason. Why is my camera not available? That doesn't make any bloody sense. Hang on now. Deactivate. There we go. Hopefully this now works. No, that's no. We want the Yeti, and we want the stream cam thing. There we go. There we flipping well go. Oh, my hair is an absolute disgrace. We're just gonna have to go with that, I think. I have to type my fucking name again. Jesus. My name's not Jesus, you get the idea. Right. Join. Yellow. I appear to be alone. Why isn't my camera thing popping up? Hello.
Hello?
That is echoey as fuck.
Is it?
Yeah. Well, you are. I can't hear myself or anything, so I don't know what's going on.
Is that still echoing?
No, that's fine now. By the way, you are live, so just bear that in mind.
Yeah, I didn't mean to do it. Cause we're using the this new professional software, and I didn't realize I had like a auto YouTube live built-in thing.
Okay.
I've had to turn it off because I need to like go through the videos with you and Alyssa to do sound checks and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
And the reason why I was echoing is because I was on the comments page.
Ah.
I've got two microphones. One I'm using right now is like a tannoy one, so I'm holding a button down so you can hear me,
Mm.
and I've got my other mic, which is just when we do the comments together.
Righto. Fair enough.
Right, I'm gonna go quiet about 30 seconds while I turn you up.
Yep, no problem. Yes, so this is what's happening. We're doing leftist tech at the moment, chat. Bear with us. We will be with you shortly. Actually, I can show you what's happening because there's nothing really on the screen at the moment. Where are we? Ooh, there we go. Boop. There we go. So for some reason I'm not, my camera won't, look, I'm there in the corner, so it's got my thing, but I'm just a question mark at the moment. And we're with a new host tonight, chat. Someone we haven't, I don't think, ever talked to before. Which should be fun. Hey, there I am. Hello. In 4K. In a whole 360p. What is wrong?
I'm gonna play a video for you. Just let me know if it plays and if it's too loud as well.
Okay.
We need to also assert who we are as a country, because Musk again has been interfering in our politics in the last few days, trying to whip up.
Slightly too loud, but not. No, I can just turn it down in my OBS if you don't. If it like works for you.
Oh, it's more because I don't want the video overpowering you and Alyssa's voices on the show.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's yeah. It is a smidge loud.
Okay, cheers.
Also, every time you press that button, it makes a weird noise. Anyway, chat, you can give money to either myself or Turn Left to assist us with our technological... well, I don't want to say limitations, because I don't think they are limited. I'm limited, but the Turn Left have come leaps and bounds. And interviewed Cenk Uygur. I saw that. Nicely done, my friend. That's a decent get. I am the bread in a Cenk Uygur sandwich, true. And he is a meaty boy, you know? What's it like being the bread in a Cenk sandwich? I've always felt doughy. So I feel like, yeah, this is my rightful place. I might be a bit bland, but wholesome, okay? I don't know why I pointed at the camera. You literally can't see me right now. I could show you tiny me.
Ah, look, I'm in the corner. I'm trapped in the corner. Ah.
Wholemeal or white? I mean, look at me. What the fuck do you think? Have you ever seen a more white bread, motherfucker? Come on now. I'm like if Hovis came to life. Oh, I do. I like the 50-50 best of both. Yeah. It's still sweet enough, like the white bread, but you've got roughage in it, so you can actually shit. It's nice. The cricket is awful. Yeah, 17 wickets again today. It's an interesting game, if nothing else. It's better than... I mean, it is literally a lot better than having, 700 plays 600 and it's a boring draw from day 2, Turn left, more like turn communism. Got him! Absolutely fucking nailed it, brother.
Okay, I just want to get you to see if you can hear each other.
Me.
Hello, hello?
Hello.
Yes, but you're up back.
Yeah, well, I can hear. if that helps.
At least we can. Hi, Kevin. Nice to meet you.
Yes, hello there, Alyssa. How are you? Yes, it's lovely to meet you. You're
I really can't hear you.
Oh, you can't hear me?
Oh, I can, but like.
Okay. Well, I'll continue to talk whilst the technological side of things is hopefully fixed from our producer, but I don't know. It's coming through perfectly well on my OBS, so it's not the microphone, I don't think. Yeah. And I can hear myself back ever so slightly now in the distance.
Can you speak to each other?
Yes.
Hello.
Hello, hello.
I can hear you a bit better now. It is still quite quiet. I don't know. Up anymore, Curtis?
Also, I'm now getting echo of everyone's voice.
I can't hear Kevin now, though.
Okay. Oh God, do I sound like that? Yeah. I hate.
Hearing yourself back is actually the worst.
It's awful. But there we go.
Why does it come out of the laptop as well? Shouldn't be doing that.
Well, that's probably where we're getting the double noise. Oh. Stick with us, chat. Technological considerations and all of that jazz. Don't know why I'm doing this like fucking jazz presenter. Stick with us, chat. Nice. What was his name, the actor who did that bit? He was in Cold Feet as well. Northern lad.
Right, try again.
Hello there. Hello. I can't. Yeah, the echo seems to be going.
Is there an echo on your end?
Yeah, sort the echo out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That appears to be okay.
Brilliant. Right, I just want to check if you can both hear this video.
We need to also assert who we are as a country, because Musk again has been interfering in our politics in the last few days, trying to whip up.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yep.
I'd rather have a career politician than a plumber who's a sexist.
Do you both hear that?
Yep.
Perfect. Okay.
John Thompson, that was him. Yeah. The Fast Show was awesome. What was the Tony something, right? The second-hand car salesman character that was played by Higson, was it? Swiss Tony, yeah. And he just used to say that everything was like making love to a beautiful woman, and then it was like an absurd, fucking strange reach to describe it as such. Didn't they? Am I misremembering that, or was there a spin-off show of Swiss Tony that was fucking dreadful? I seem to remember that, but I am old, so I might be mixing things up. I don't know. I mean, I am on the internet, so I could just Google it, I guess, but I'm not fucking going to. I'm too busy being newsy news boy tonight. What have we got coming up on the show? I can tell you from the PDF. We've got Zach Polanski and the IDF, Keir Starmer and Elon Musk, and then a Kenyan was embarrassed on Question Time, which we did watch, didn't we? The Swiss Tony Show had 2 seasons. Oh, that's tragic. Oh no. Because that's basically one joke. That entire bit was one joke, and they managed to spin it into 2 seasons of TV. Ay. Never mind. I don't know what we're now waiting for, but
Okay, I think we should be okay. So I've gone live, and we'll be going in a couple of minutes.
oh, okay. It's still doing when you press the button. It's still doing that. It does like a blip noise.
Yeah, don't worry about the blip. That's me flicking the on button for your specific mic for you.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. It's fancy now, chat. It's fancy as fuck. One conversation with Chen Kuger and all of a sudden we've got Polymarket Studios level of production. Ho ho ho! Let's go! Tom Baker was in the Swiss Tony show. I don't remember that. How have we got onto Swiss Tony based conversations? Literally, it just sprung into my mind because I was thinking about the Fast Show. I haven't thought about Swiss Tony in 15 years. And I had no intention of bringing it up, but I suppose I'm going to have to show everyone. After this, if someone reminds me, I'll show you a bit of Swiss Tony for the Yanks who don't know what the fuck we're talking about. And let's be honest, most British people under the age of 30 probably don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. So for you young'uns, Kim Jong-un. Johnny Nice Painter was my favourite fashion. I don't remember that one. But interestingly, both what do you call it? White House and the other one, whose name? Hickson, maybe? I don't know. They were painters and decorators before they got their big break in comedy. At least we don't have to listen to that music. The intro music. Just silence. Silence like the screaming void inside me. I don't know, I've talked a lot of shit on this show sometimes. Probably should have brushed my hair. It's a bit rough. It's amazing the different standards of like beauty or whatever. Because women have to put so much effort in. And
Hello, good evening, and welcome to Normal Island Live. Happy Friday. My name is Alyssa Gucci, and you're in for a treat because this week we've got double Kevin Logan as our guest. Kevin, thanks for joining us again this week.
it's delightful to be on with you. How are you? Hello?
I can't.
Oh, we're having this problem. Okay.
No. One sec, Kevin, and
Okay.
viewers.
Yes, well, I should probably continue to talk until something occurs audibly. I don't want to talk about Swiss Tony again. That would just be weird. So I'll just say Keir Starmer is a prick over and over again. And hopefully that works.
Like,
It was working before, now it's not working, and that's very frustrating.
it was working before. I can just hear you, but like not enough to really have a conversation, which is not ideal for this kind of a show.
Yeah, not ideal. I could scream, I suppose, and turn myself down on my own OBS.
Wait, I think you're coming on a bit louder now.
Okay, well, I'll try and project like I'm in a theatre or something. I don't know.
Right, let's carry on. Hopefully,
Okay,
we can be all right with what we've got going on. Apologies. Right, let's get back into it. Thanks again for joining us, Kevin. We're using some new software again this evening, so there might be a few little teething problems, as there always is. This software is better, but you know, we've just got to get used to it, so it's fine.
I'm
It'll
happy
be a
to
good
be
show.
happy to be a technological guinea pig. Let's go.
Perfect. We love it. And I'm sure, you know, if something goes really wrong, you can just ad lib and just
Yes.
entertain everybody for a few minutes or something. Perfect.
I will
Okay,
do.
sounds good. Right. Let's get into it then. So, coming up on tonight's show, Zach Polanski urges the government to track British Israeli IDF soldiers. Keir Starmer accuses Elon Musk of interfering with British politics. And Rob Kenyon tanks his performance on BBC Question Time. Remember to like the stream, make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to support us, then you can go to turnleftmedia.co.uk/support to help fund our work. So, let's go to our first story. Leader of the Green Party, Zach Polanski, has signed a letter urging the government to track the movement of British citizens that have recently served in the Israeli Defence League. In the letter, organised by Declassified UK, Polanski urged Home Secretary Shabana Mahmood and Foreign Secretary Yvette Cooper to set up a database of up to 2,000 British Israelis who have served in the IDF since October 7th, 2023, in relation to actions of war crimes against the Palestinian people. The letter states that it would be in the public interest to be able to monitor these people. The letter has been co-signed by other MPs, including Jeremy Corbyn, Diane Abbott, and Zara Sultana, to name a few. We, the undersigned, and politicians, lawyers, campaigners, human rights defenders, journalists, and other professionals who believe the public interest is best served by monitoring the entry of British Israeli dual national citizens into the UK and investigating potential links to war crimes in cases where they have served in the IDF. Individuals who have returned from fighting in Gaza may now be living alongside us and working in public institutions such as hospitals, the police, and schools. Nobody wants to live next to a potential war criminal, not least members of the Palestinian community in the UK who have family or friends who have been subjected to war crimes. Speaking to Jewish News, a spokesperson from the Board of Deputies of British Jews said of the petition, "It seems to be another attempt to demonize Israelis and promote an atmosphere of intimidation against British Jews. The call of those who have signed it, including Zach Polanski, to treat people as potential criminals just because of their passport is a unique and wholly unacceptable form of discrimination." Taking to Twitter, Zach Goldsmith said, "What a disgusting piece of human trash he is. How can he live with himself?" And a load of sick emojis just for effect. Which is somewhat ironic, given that Goldsmith ran that infamous 2016 London mayoral campaign against Sadiq Khan, which was widely attacked for being Islamophobic. The Goldsmith campaign was first criticised for attempting to divide voters when leaflets emerged targeting Hindu voters that suggested Khan would tax their jewellery if he became London's mayor. His campaign then tried to accuse the now Mayor of London of associating with alleged extremists before he became an MP, although that backfired when one of those cited turned out to be a Tory supporter. Yeah, it was the intervention from right-wing journalist Sarah Vine that was the most repulsive. Does he want them to wear yellow armbands too? That's absolutely disgusting. Documented people potentially committing war crimes, joining an army fighting for a genocidal state, is apparently the same as Nazi Germany and rounding up Jews. Zach Polanski, despite being Jewish himself, has been repeatedly criticised for supposed growing anti-Semitism within the Green Party. Kevin Hollinrake, the Conservative Party chairman, told The Telegraph, "At a time when anti-Semitism is on the rise, Zach Polanski should not be stoking further division and hostility in our society. He should immediately withdraw his name from this letter, and the Green Party need to get serious about tackling anti-Semitism and rooting out hate within their own ranks." Meanwhile, a spokesperson for Polanski responded to the backlash. The IDF has been credibly accused of horrific war crimes in Gaza by bodies including the UN Human Rights Council, Human Rights Watch, and Amnesty International, and the UK government should be taking robust action against any British citizens complicit in these crimes. Last September, the British government concluded that Israel had not committed genocide. Kevin, in a time where we're seeing people being banned from entering the UK for their criticism of Israel, what do you make of this letter?
It seems so obvious to me that this should be a perfectly reasonable part of border security, if nothing else. I think this should be extended to people who have served in any armed forces of a foreign nation. Again, not to persecute them, but to track potential foreign agents. These are people who obviously have skin in the game, so to speak. And so it makes perfect sense to track the movements and activities of these people, especially given that we know that Israel uses former members of the IDF involved in all kinds of secret activities through Mossad and such. This is not a controversial or anti-Semitic point. They do false flags all the time. They do targeted intimidation and indeed up to including assassination of political opponents all around the world. We know that they do these things. So why would it makes perfect sense to track and possibly stop some of that activity, hopefully. Now, there's so many aspects to this story that are so disingenuous, as is always the case, because the only defence you can realistically make of the Israeli government and the IDF is dishonest. You can't do so on the basis of international law or basic humanity, seriously. They obviously have been complicit, the British government, in genocide, and the Israeli government are guilty of genocide. It's so nakedly obvious that that's the case, and yet we live with a political class that want to pretend otherwise, and one does have to question why that is. In terms of the defence of the IDF here, or the kind of Hasbro smokescreen that they're trying to throw up here, it's not on the basis of someone's passport that this would be done. I don't think we need to target every single Israeli. It's people who have served in the IDF and are dual citizens. I think is perfectly reasonable. They are very likely to have engaged in units that have been guilty of war crimes and genocide. And so tracking those people and potentially prosecuting them, I think is a wise course of action. Now, the usual shell game that Zionists do with Israel, they've now transposed into this particular situation, which is, when it suits them, Israel is a multicultural, loving, accepting place where they're not all Jews that live there. They're not all Jews that work in the IDF or in this organisation or that organisation. There are Arabs and Christians and atheists and all kinds of different people. And yet when it suits them, they will completely use as synonyms Israel and Jewish, which they have claimed in the past, and indeed the definition that was foisted on the Labour Party included directly that if you compare Israel to all Jews, that is anti-Semitic, inherently saying that the defence of Israel is itself anti-Semitic. Because we're not saying that you should be tracked on the basis of you being Jewish. So the idea of comparing it to the Holocaust is disgusting, and not remotely the first time that Zionists have disingenuously used the Holocaust as a defence, which itself is pretty disgusting. But there is a place in the world where you have religiously discriminatory laws based upon whether you are a specific religion or not, and that place would be Israel, where they literally just passed a law basically saying they can just kill Palestinians now. They can just execute them. And of course, it doesn't allow for interfaith marriages. There are first and second class citizens. It is an apartheid state. And the defence of it by people who are now claiming that just tracking foreign registered agents in your own territory as a part of apartheid is a really disgusting hypocrisy and should be pointed out by everybody. And the sort of British internal political point here, given that we're currently in the midst of the Makerfield by-election, and Andy Burnham, the Prime Minister in waiting, in all but name, right, has today come out and refused singularly to describe what Israel has done as genocide, which shouldn't be massively surprising given that previously he was a member of the Labour Friends of Israel, which is essentially just an Israeli proxy in the United Kingdom, one of many, of course. And the Green Party have drawn a clear delineation between themselves and the Labour Party on this particular issue. If you want actual change, if you want progress in this area, especially when it comes to the British government, Andy Burnham is not offering you that. Only the Green Party are, let's say, even if they don't necessarily want to call themselves anti-Zionist, they are certainly not pro-Zionist, and that makes them pretty much the only mainstream political party in Britain that holds that position.
The only thing I do agree with a lot of what you've just said there. The thing with the IDF, though, and the thing that maybe I'm unsure of is because they do like a national service, don't they? You have to
Yeah,
serve for, is it 2 years?
I believe so. Yeah.
So that, I mean, I don't like that anyway, because I think then it's you're forcing these you're actually kind of forcing these potential war crimes on like young people who actually don't really get any say in doing that. So that's kind of like my grey area of it, maybe in my mind.
Well, I mean, one is reticent to go to comparisons with the Nazis for obvious historical and cultural reasons, but the historical parallel of the Nuremberg trials, where it was established under international law that just saying that you were following orders or that you had pressure from above to do a thing is not in of itself an acceptable excuse. There are people, very, very brave people, who have been drafted into the IDF and have purposefully ripped up those order papers and gone to prison. They have served a punishment, a significant punishment, for their principle. And I think it's only fair in harsh circumstances to take those kind of harsh measures, that you have to stand up against this evil. And okay, I'm from a privileged position where my government are not forcing me to do war crimes, so I don't have to make that decision. I'm very fortunate. But sometimes life isn't fair. You are put in that situation. History has called upon you to take the right side of things. If you don't do so, you open yourself up to that judgment.
Putting yourself in the shoes of Shabana Mahmood, then, what do you think the government's response is going to be to this letter?
To ignore it. Obviously, they're in the pay of Zionists. They're all bought and paid for Zionists. Nothing will happen. Absolutely nothing, because the government aren't the same government that have been doing spy flights for Israel are not going to suddenly turn around and accept that genocide has taken place, because that would make them complicit in a genocide. So just on a basic principle or basic understanding of self-preservation, they're not going to do that. But I think, again, another interesting comparison would be the way in which many people on the right were happy to completely abandon Shamima Begum, the ISIS bride, who, as a young, impressionable person, went over, obviously, to ISIS, had several children foisted upon her, all of whom have now died because of the terrible conditions she's been left in in a refugee camp in Lebanon. And she's still now a stateless wanderer that the British government have completely abandoned. But apparently, people who willingly sign up for, or indeed are drafted and refuse to deny that draft, into a genocider's army and are complicit in that genocide, deserve special protection or something. It's very interesting to draw the juxtaposition as to why that would be. It's almost as if the British establishment don't really see Muslims as human beings.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there. Let's leave it for that story and move on to the next. Keir Starmer has accused Elon Musk of interfering in British politics. Let's take a look at what he said.
We need to also assert who we are as a country, because Musk, again, has been interfering in our politics in the last few days, trying to whip up division. That is not who we are in Britain. In Britain, we are reasonable, tolerant people. When we have a terrible case like Henry's case, Henry Novak, we react calmly, as his family have done. When it comes to disgusting images on Grok, we take Grok on and fight, because that's who we are as a country.
This was in response to weeks of posts by Musk on Twitter saying things like this. The West has created an utterly evil state religion where an accusation of racism is the gravest offence that can be committed, even worse than rape or murder. So if police show up at a crime scene and a British boy is bleeding out and an immigrant says the British boy is racist, the cops will cuff the dying British boy. Now, this obviously isn't the first time Musk has spoken about British politics on Twitter, frequently posting about his support for Restore Britain and Rupert Lowe, and often parrots far-right and ethno-nationalist talking points. Last week, he retweeted a tweet from Rupert Lowe talking about how Restore is under brutal assault by the establishment, which has now been viewed 32.2 million times, before a day later tweeting, "Only Restore Britain can save Britain." Musk is no stranger to getting involved with political parties. It was revealed earlier this year that Musk had donated a casual $290 million to Donald Trump's 2024 presidential campaign. Elon Musk spent a total of more than $290 million on the 2024 election, new federal filings show, boosting President Donald Trump and Republicans in a staggering effort that has helped to secure unprecedented access for the world's richest person in the new administration. The new filings with the Federal Election Commission on Friday showed that Musk put about $11.2 million into his main super PAC, America PAC, on the final day of the year, which brought his total political giving for the cycle to more than $290 million, a massive sum rivaled by only a handful of competing mega donors. Now, his political payments haven't been without scrutiny, with one lawsuit last year claiming he violated state bribery laws when he paid two individual voters $1 million each.
Top Trump advisor and Tesla CEO Elon Musk gave away million-dollar checks to two Wisconsin voters Sunday, ahead of a vote that could flip control of the state's Supreme Court. Musk used similar stunts during the 2024 presidential election to support Trump. On Sunday, he said it was meant to draw media attention to the race, which currently has liberal Susan Crawford edging ahead of conservative judge Brad Schimmel for an open seat.
Somewhat inevitably, when I do these things, it causes the legacy media to kind of lose their minds, and then they'll run it on every news channel.
The April 1st election will decide where the state's top court sits on abortion rights, labor rights, and possibly election rules. While technically nonpartisan, the race is also seen as an early referendum on Trump. The election is already the most expensive judicial race in U.S. history. As of last week, a total of $81 million has been spent on the race, according to New York University's Brennan Center for Justice. More than a fifth of that amount was spent by groups affiliated with Musk to support Schimmel, the conservative judge. Protesters lined the streets outside where Musk spoke in Green Bay Sunday. Greg Davidson was among them.
I think that's just wrong that he's sticking his nose in our business here in Wisconsin. You know, he's working for Washington now. He should be out of our hair and out of the judicial system. You know, he should be messing with our Supreme Court justice election. That's wrong.
Others, like Laura Jagdfeld, felt otherwise.
Kevin, as that man just said, Musk loves sticking his nose in where it doesn't belong. What do you make of Starmer calling him out on it?
As with everything to do with Keir Starmer, even when he does something vaguely good, it's terrible, if that makes sense. His interjection here has been essentially pointless because he's not actually going to do anything. Just saying Elon Musk shouldn't interfere in British politics is not going to stop him from interfering with British politics. Just like asking companies nicely to keep prices down isn't going to make them do that. He's literally the most do-nothing, pathetic, spineless politician that's ever existed. In terms of Elon Musk, of course, yeah, he has had undue influence in both America, where he just essentially bought the election for Donald Trump. Because let's not forget, he didn't win in a landslide. He won very narrowly in a series of tight states. He won electorally, in terms of the Electoral College, he won relatively comfortably, but he wouldn't have taken that many votes. Certainly $290 million worth of votes. Yeah, he basically bought the election for the Trump campaign, and he's going to try and do the same here with Restore. I don't think it'll work because Restore aren't even the main party on the far right here. That would be the Reform Party. But Elon Musk is an interesting character in that he seems to have self-radicalised on X, which, as far as I'm concerned now, is a foreign influence organisation which should be banned in the same way that Russia Today was banned. And it can be gotten around with a VPN, of course, as indeed can watching Russia Today. But it's a foreign influence organisation. That's all it is. It's allowing a multi-billionaire to influence our politics unduly. Also, just want to point out to Elon Musk, if rape and murder were such serious crimes in the West, how come you and Donald Trump, as two sexual abusers, and indeed supporters of ICE, who do lots of murder, aren't in jail? Just a thought for you. Because people should look up the fact that he was sexually harassing one of his employees and tried to pay her off with a horse. That's just a thing that he did. Yeah, Elon Musk does have undue influence on British politics, but then again, so do so many other people. We know for a long time there has been dark money from both Russia and Saudi Arabia pouring into Britain. There has been huge amounts of Israeli money pouring into Britain, and nothing's ever done about any of these things. So why he has chosen to specifically pick on Elon Musk is because Elon Musk isn't giving him any money. Because you'll notice he didn't have a problem with Quadrilla Capital giving him £4 million. That was absolutely fine. He doesn't mind any number of other people funding groups like Labour Together, which is the only reason he's Prime Minister. So in terms of his seriousness in tackling the problem of foreign entities having undue influence over British politics, I can't take him very seriously because he's not actually a very serious politician.
These kind of moments of Keir Starmer calling people out is essentially the same as like writing a strongly worded letter. I feel like it doesn't really actually do an awful lot.
Yeah.
I mean, let's hypothetically say that it was Andy Burnham who was PM. Do you think like he is really going to do much kind of different to Starmer in this regard?
No,
like, would he be any stronger on it, do you think?
No, not at all. Not at all, no. And it's interesting, again, that certain people get strongly worded letters or the occasional harsh statement, and some people literally get banned from entering the country. I'm going to guess that Elon Musk will not be banned from travelling to the UK in the way that Cenk Uygur and Hassan Piker were recently. Yeah, and just in terms of Keir Starmer's supposed love of inclusivity and peace and all the rest of it, let's not forget that he is the man who's been remorselessly chasing Reform voters with some of the most harsh and draconian immigration measures in recent times, and of course literally echoed the Rivers of Blood speech, trying to be Enoch Powell 2.0. He is not a person who can really stand on the side of righteousness in this regard, in any respect whatsoever. And so again, his words fall flat and hollow, as they so often do.
Thanks for mentioning Cenk Uygur and Hassan Piker there, because I'm just going to do a little plug. And for anyone who hasn't seen, Curtis interviewed Cenk Uygur yesterday. The video is now live. It's on the channel. It'll probably be the one just before this one. So if you haven't watched it, make sure you do. And before we move on, it's 2026, and we really want this year to be big for Turn Left. We want to be more ambitious, do more ambitious interviews, and really put us on the map. We would love 2026 to be the year that we get a studio and for our contributors to be paid for the work that we do. Obviously, your support over the years has been amazing, and we really, really appreciate it. Just want to level up. So we really rely on small donations. And if you want to be part of a media organisation that seeks to destroy the oligarchs, then please head over to turnleftmedia.co.uk/support. There you can find, there you can support us monthly on Patreon, or there is another link for a one-time contribution. And you can also become a YouTube member for 99p. Thank you. So let's go to our final story. I feel like we're absolutely flying through the show this evening, but we've got a few videos coming up in this next story. Reform Party's Robert Kenyon appeared on Question Time last night for a Makerfield by-election special. He did not have a good time. It didn't take long until questions around his sexist comments came up.
I'd rather have a career politician than a plumber who's a sexist.
So, Rob, I want to give you a chance to answer that. You know, I want to give you a fair shout. So just for those of you may not all be aware of things that Rob has said in the past, you described yourself as sexist.
Allegedly.
You're denying that was a tweet by you?
Some of the things, not.
Okay, you described yourself as a sexist. You have made offensive comments about women. You've admitted that. You've also said that abortion is the cowardly act of women murdering defenseless baby, and that women do it so they can shag anyone they want. That's your phrase, not mine. As I say, I'm raising it because lots of people in the audience raise it, and I want to give you a chance to answer.
That's okay. I'll address those questions. So I won't accept that label. I mean, a lot of the things have been said 15 years ago. I hold my hands up. I've made mistakes. And said,
the one about abortion was just 2 to 3 years ago.
I'm just addressing the first point where she said, where I was given a label that I won't accept. I was brought up by a single parent, and my grandma, who was a widow, and an older sister. So I was brought up by women. I've got nothing but respect for women. You know, so I think something that's said, 15 years ago, dragged up from an old rugby forum, it's completely taken out of context. And like I say, I've made mistakes. I said things years ago that I wouldn't say now, and I definitely don't believe that on that point. So I hope that addresses that issue. And it's like I say, I've got nothing but respect for women.
Sorry, I'm laughing because every time I watch that clip, I'm just like, that guy is actually a joke. He literally tried, I can't be a sexist. My mum's a woman. That ain't gonna work. Sorry, mate. The Green Party's Sarah Wakefield took him to task and called on him to apologise to Carol Vorderman.
I actually spoke to Carol Vorderman this morning. She called me because she is really distressed that you have failed to apologise for any of these comments. So you said
about
that
her specifically?
Her specifically, and she is watching at home tonight. And I wonder if you can look down that camera and say to Carol, you know what? I'm sorry. Can you do that?
Do you know what? People.
Did he apologise? Yes. Really?
I've probably seen what's been said, but I never actually said anything to Carol. I commented on a comment. Okay. Don't get me wrong, it was a disgusting comment that somebody else had written, but I commented on the comment.
With approval?
Okay.
Pardon?
With approval?
No, it was a crass joke, and it's not something I'd say now.
We all say things we regret sometimes. Nobody's perfect, but we apologise and we take accountability. And he couldn't do that. But Sarah had the last word on this.
Every woman in this room and at home has been subject to shaming, whether in person or online.
And that's disgusting. It's horrible, yeah.
I think you're just proving my point. Can you believe this? Honestly, we have all been subjected to it. And the fact that a man like you cannot sit and do a simple apology, I think is disgraceful. But on top of that, Reform's policies on women are shocking. Right. Reform on day one wants to repeal the Equality Act. That is your policy. I can't believe, as a mum of a young daughter, I'm having to sit here in 2026 and make the case for me and my daughter to have the right for equal pay. This is what the Reform Party stand for. They are a party that has a problem with women and they need to sort it out.
Well, I completely agree with Sarah at the end there. Reform is absolutely not a party that is going to support women in any way. Back in that first clip, Rob Kenyon was asked about his comments about abortion, saying it's a cop-out for women who just want to shag around. Are those the words of someone who has nothing but respect for women? To say he's not sexist because he was brought up by a single mum, a widowed grandma and a sister means jack shit, quite frankly. It's giving, I'm not racist, I've got a black mate. And it's frankly embarrassing. But that just about sums up his whole performance on the show. He also made a bizarre policy announcement.
And ban knives, regardless of, religious background, that we ban knives completely.
All knives, even cutlery. Most knives are banned, including the one that killed Henry Novak. There has been discussion around the kirpan, which is a blade Sikhs wear as part of their religious uniform, but the kirpan wasn't used against Novak. The next one is the highlight. Kenyon was asked about police recruitment.
You said you're getting 30,000 more police officers on the streets. Where are you getting these 30,000 people from?
Look, when you say where they're coming from, that'd be a problem for whoever is recruiting them. I mean, I want to focus on Make a Deal. You know what I mean? I want to.
Problem there, Rob. If your party is in charge, you're the one supposed to have a plan on how you recruit them. Let's take a look at another clip.
And I would rather have a community made up of diversity, of women, of LGBT people, of young people, of people with disabilities, than someone like yourself who is sexist and has shown on more than one occasion an opposition to diversity, just as your party does.
Woman here in the spoke too soon there. Now, he did have one good moment, which has been the only clip shared from the right wing on social media. That was the topic of immigration and housing with Sarah Wakefield.
Do you not
If
think
we-
an extra 10 million people is going to have an effect on
Do
housing?
you
in
think
the
that if
UK?
we lock down our borders, we're going to solve the housing crisis?
Well,
Is that going to solve
The thing
it?
is, the more people you have in a country, the more houses you're going to need. I know it might sound...
He's really good at explaining things, ladies, isn't he?
I'll make sure.
Yeah. You using immigration on the issue of housing, I think is absolutely.
Are you saying it has no impact on housing?
I think Andy wanted to come in.
Let's.
No,
do you want to just answer that question, Rob? Do you think it has
Does
no impact on
immigration
housing?
have an effect on housing?
Whoever lives in this country has an impact on housing, of course.
All right.
The numbers
okay.
of people in a country. That's
Let's-
not necessarily to do with immigration.
So him looking good there was probably due to Wakefield not having a strong enough rebuttal that made Kevin look good. I would have liked to see Sarah mention that there are 1 million empty homes, and the problem with housing is they are being hoarded by landlords, and the lack of affordable housing is because council houses are not being built. The problem isn't immigration. We always hear that we need to build more houses, and we should, but that's not the silver bullet. It's too simplistic to look at it that way. Especially when we have more houses per capita, the highest at any point in history. Kevin, I know you've seen the full show. Hopefully those clips there have jogged your memory. Will voters be put off by Kenyon, do you think?
Oh, I think undoubtedly, yeah. And there is a broader point as to the right wing losing women, especially, who have been going more and more progressive throughout the Western world, precisely because the right wing are leaning into this kind of misogynist madness. I mean, this is literally a show called Normal Island, and which is, of course, a sarcastic title, of course, because we are an abnormal island. But what is more abnormal and weird than spending, let's say, a fair chunk of the political discourse surrounding the most important by-election of recent times, possibly ever indeed, talking about Carol Vorderman's rectum? Like, this is a thing that's happening in the 21st century here in the UK. It's maddening.
Actually bonkers.
I feel like I'm going crazy. What the... Like, it's mad, especially when the person themselves, like, the Reform candidate, much like Trump in America, obviously is going to be sexist and going to be racist. Pointing that out is fine, but that's not going to be enough, because people who vote for Donald Trump don't care that he's a paedophile, let alone that he's a racist or a sexist. And the people who vote for Reform, again, are not voting on the basis of any ethics, they're voting because of immigration. And so the point is, you need to actually get down to the nitty-gritty of policy. And the thing that I would have really liked to have seen pushed further on was that one clip you showed there of him saying, whoever deals with recruitment. Because I wanted them to turn around and go, do you know who that is? Do you know what department of the government deals with
Actually
this?
hold a bit of accountability.
Like, okay, the Home Secretary, fine, but like, who underneath them, what minister deals with that? And then ask him fumbling and go, it's the policing minister. Obviously. Like, I know that, and I'm not trying to run for office. Like, he's an absolutely clueless idiot who doesn't even understand his own party's policies and makes stuff up on the fly, because it's not in any document that I can find, this banning all knives thing. So that's just his personal opinion, apparently, but that's now stated as some kind of policy, and a ludicrous policy, because as you point out, the practicality is, if I go to the shop and buy some steak knives and walk home with them, am I committing a crime under your new ban? Like, what happened to responsibility? Because the knife that was used to kill Mr. Novak is already illegal. So that wouldn't have stopped it. And having 30,000 more police officers, assuming you can find out the person who's actually going to recruit them at any point, Mr. Kenyon, wouldn't have helped either, because they'll still be ill-trained, and you'll just have more police officers not saving people's lives. So that's not going to solve anything either. Again, the right wing coming up with quote-unquote solutions that aren't actually solutions at all, and will probably make the situation significantly worse. Unsurprisingly. And again, you can point out that he's a sexist, but that in of itself isn't enough, because people who vote Reform clearly don't give a shit about that, because they're happy to vote for Nigel Farage. They quite like Nigel Farage, a man who, again, has some very, very clear and distinct sexism throughout his political and indeed pre-political life. You need to point out the significant damage that their policies would do, not just to women, but obviously to women as well. Things like their abortion, silliness, as far as I'm concerned. Their plan to remove equalities legislation. They promise they'll enshrine all of those women's rights in the new law, but do you trust them to do so, given the kind of people they have elected? Because he's not even the worst of them, of course, because you've got to remember McMaster, a member of Parliament who now doesn't sit for the Reform Party because of something completely different to the thing I'm about to outline, which was the fact that he had previously been convicted and sent to prison for domestic abuse of beating the shit out of his girlfriend, and was accepted as a member of that political party, and indeed put into a position where he was elected as a member of the British House of Commons for that political party. I don't trust them with women's rights. Pointing these things out is worthwhile because it puts it into a proper concrete perspective for people. It's not just some tweets from several years ago that you can kind of wave away, because he never apologised or explained it to anybody, but he did just about enough to, you know, sort of wave it away. Whereas concrete policies like that, you can't do.
I saw a few comments under the under that clip of him where he was pulled up on his sexist comments, and people were like, oh, you know, can't people change? He made those comments 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was that he said. You know, can't people change? So yes, I think I agree. It would have been good to see some more recent examples as well.
That's
to put it into a bit more like current context.
Well, yeah, exactly. But that excuse he used was bullshit, frankly, because the comments he made about abortion being used by people who just want to fuck around was made 2 years ago, and he hasn't recanted. Exactly. He hasn't recanted his anti-abortion stance. So, is he suggesting that he's still anti-abortion?
He actually didn't really address that.
No, he never addressed bodily autonomy in the slightest, because again, he wasn't pushed on actual concrete reality. He was just pointed out that he was sexist, which again is fine to do because it's true, and saying the truth is one of the most revolutionary things you can do at the moment because we live in a time of absolute deceit. But in of itself, it's not sufficient. You need to go beyond that and actually explain that, you know, removing of bodily autonomy, removing of rights to equal pay and things like that will actually demonstrably ruin people's lives. That's a thing that will actually motivate people. Now, thankfully, it looks like from the polling that Mr. Kenyon is not going to be a member of Parliament anytime soon. Although that then means that Andy Burnham will become Prime Minister, and he's not going to change anything either. So it's a very bleak time on Normal Island.
Yes, it's very unnormal island. What do you make of the Green candidate, Sarah Wakefield? Because she seems nice. But like, I mean, obviously we know she's not going to win. Do you know what I mean? But like, yeah, what do you kind of make of her?
She does seem nice, and I mean that last clip you played, it was such a shame because I watched it all on stream with another regular guest here, No Justice MTG, and we shout out to her. We were happy with her performance up to that point. The answers were not absolutely perfect, but she came across well. She came across as very likeable, and as you point out, she's not running to actually win this seat. She's running to continue the progress of the Green Party as a mainstream political party. I mean, just the fact that they have a seat at the table is itself a show of the growth of the Green Party, and so that's a positive. The fact that the Green Party is now included as one of the parties you can't ignore, unlike Restore, massive alpha for Rupert Lowe and Elon Musk there. But although I was annoyed that Count Binface was left out. That's an abuse of democracy. But no, her performance was actually pretty good up to that point. And she actually started the conversation about immigration and housing relatively well by pointing out some of the sort of some of the reasons why it's not to do with immigration. And then she sort of, it was a weird own goal where she didn't need to refer to the Reform Party guy at all. She could have just sort of stated Green Party policy and left it there. But she decided to turn to him, and I was expecting like, oh, she's going to have some gotcha or like a good put down line or a strong piece of rhetoric, and she had nothing. And she made him look good, not because his responses were any good, but because she had literally nothing. And that's a real shame because she'd done well up to that point. And I think she has a future in politics, but she needs to really beef up a rhetorical game because you're going to come up against much more erudite, well-spoken, and frankly better communicators than Robert Kenyon in whatever election you find in the future. And so you're going to need to be a lot better than that, frankly.
Yeah, I think it's in those kinds of scenarios and situations of which I have absolutely zero experience, but I can imagine it is quite easy to just want to just put down the other person and go, oh well, look how terrible this person is. And actually, as you said, if she'd have just kind of diverted it back to green policy, she could have made a better statement that would have made her look better, rather than trying to say something to make him look crap, and then actually it didn't.
Well, just make the basic point that it's not about the number of people you have necessarily. You can do it in a way that it's a matter of allowing infrastructure to keep pace with the number of people we have. And you can link that back into the general discussion that they were having about the deindustrialisation of the North and the fact that the North has been abandoned, which is absolutely true. By saying you need to have more housing, you need to have more infrastructure, hospitals, schools, roads, shops, dentists, whatever, in order to accommodate those number of people. And pointing out that because of the neoliberalism enforced upon Britain by the Thatcher governments, etc., since the 1980s, we have had a hollowed out investment, an absolutely skeletal investment in infrastructure in this country, to the point where we have an infrastructure that was built in the 60s and 70s, so is crumbling and outdated and outmoded and all the rest of it. And also was built to deal with a population of 50 million, and now we have 70 million. So it's not a matter of the number of people who come in, it's a matter of allowing infrastructure to increase to the point where you can actually sustain that number of people. It doesn't matter whether you have immigration or not. And frankly, you can then move on to the point that actually we need immigration because our actual birth rate is pathetically low. We have a way below replacement birth rate, and we have a top-heavy demographic situation where the only people with any wealth and income are not productive. Now, I'm not suggesting that they're bad, I'm not being Malthusian here, but they're not workers. So they're not really paying tax at this point in their lives for the most part. And so you have a ever diminishing tax base looking after an ever increasing wealthy, non-productive section of society. And that is a financial disaster waiting to happen. So you need more people coming into the country to actually sustain that, because people aren't having children.
Well, thank you for your wonderful insights there, Kevin. I think we're going to leave it there and bring in producer Curtis and go to your comments.
Hello.
Hi, Curtis.
Hi. I really hope it's not been too much of a dodgy stream with the new software. It's quite difficult to migrate over. We didn't use the software. I think the last time we used it was when Banseka came in the studio. So it's been a few months. So it's trying to remember a lot of things, and I'm not an audio engineer.
I was about to say, just get a decent producer, and we'd have been fine. That's all.
Well, do you fancy coming to Leeds?
No, I do not.
Brilliant, I love that. By the way, I think someone did mention about audio engineer. Jim Speak says, are there any audio engineers in the community? If there's anyone in the community who knows how to use Wirecast and vMix or Vision Mix, hit us up.
Also,
because...
your mic is clipping real bad right now, by the way.
Oh, I need to turn myself down. Is that better? Oh, I'm really loud.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Yeah. So if there's anyone who knows about those two Wirecast and vMix software, that'll be very much appreciated, because it's very complicated. But as you can see, despite the hiccups and the audio stuff, the stream quality is just so much better. You guys are in 4K. Well, it's actually HD, but you look like you're in 4K.
Is that a good thing in my case?
Yeah, I want to see all your beautiful blemishes.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I was thinking of maybe some sort of brown paper bag would be better, I think. But, you know.
Yeah, I mean, why don't you try it for the next show? When we do Turn Left Live 4K, you can bring a brown paper bag if you like.
That's really mean.
You just said something about Count Binface. You could be like,
I could do.
Version.
I'm Kev Binface. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently I'm still clipping a lot. Is that true?
No, on my end. No.
To be fair, the chat comes in like 30 seconds later, I think. So, although people are saying I made it worse.
You didn't. It's fine. It's fine. No, tell them to fuck off. Just get on with the comments. Come on.
Okay. Let's start with the super chats. Jim Speak gifted 5 Turn Left memberships. Thank you so much. Michael with a Turn Up membership. Again, thanks so much. In there every show. This is also a very nice comment from Michael. Alyssa is an absolute natural in front of the camera. Can we request a Sarah and Alyssa Monday one?
Definitely.
Hang on, all ladies.
Girls'
That's woke. That's DEI.
DEI.
So much DEI.
True.
That's what we are, though. We're wokies. The sick guy donated £5. Great to see Mr. B on. Your version of You Being Framed is the best. Who the hell's Mr. B?
Oh, it's a fucking Jeremy Beadle joke.
It's a Beadle
again.
one, isn't it?
This is slander.
I love all the in-joke.
This is abuse, is what
I
this
love
is.
it. No, it's not. Do you know what it is? You've been accepted into the Turn Left community, and this is their way of, showing their love. That's what it is.
I thought you were going to say You've Been Framed, and I was going to go mental, but never mind. Anyway.
Yeah, people are still sending us audio issues on this. Okay, next comment. Jim, speak again. So I'm picking on you. I welcome Elon funding Restore and Rupert Lowe because they're already splitting the reform vote in Makefield 8% as it stands. So you mentioned a poll where Labour quite clearly ahead, and that's down to the Restore reform split, whereas quote unquote progressive voters are tactically voted behind Labour.
Yes, that's true, and that holds perfectly fine for the Makerfield by-election. There are wider concerns, though, because you've got to bear in mind it's not about necessarily getting the Restore Party elected, which I don't think Elon Musk, even with all his money, can do, especially because we do have slightly tighter laws about financing and things in Britain. But it's about if they can gain enough of a foothold in the political discourse, it will pull Nigel Farage further and further right. And he's still going to be likely to be the largest party in the next parliament. So the more right he goes, the worse it is for everybody. That's the kind of poisoning of political discourse that Elon Musk's financial intervention could bring.
Yeah, I mean, so for now, Elon Musk putting loads of money into Restore or backing them publicly. It's a good thing, right?
No, I don't think it is a good thing. Both in terms of broader democracy, the idea of people sort of buying their way into it is really grotesque. Although, of course, that's been happening for a long time, as I pointed out during the main part of the show. But it's also bad, like I say, because it probably pushes the political dialogue further right. Because they can act essentially as a kind of heat shield for the Reform Party, allowing the Reform Party to move to its more natural far-right basis. But this flack will mainly be taken by the Restore Party, who are the kind of out-there crazies that will make Reform look less crazy by comparison.
I fixed my audio. I didn't realise the gate was really bad. So I fixed that now. People are saying, "Hooray, he's back!" This is what I mean. Like, when you use professional software, you've got to think of so many different things. But look, I'm getting there, and the more money we have, the more chance we get to use this software, and the better, will be it.
Allegedly.
Okay. Next.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Yeah, just call it Robert Kenyon. Jamie Alice says Musk started spiraling when his daughter came out as trans. He couldn't accept it, so he went full Nazi, says already. That's basically the beginning of...
Well, he literally admitted it, didn't he? Yeah.
Wokeism.
Yeah, he literally admitted on X, the Everything app, that he still describes them as his son, and says that his son died because of the woke mind virus, and that's what inspired his politics.
So disgusting.
He's grotesque. He's grotesque. And again, he tried to pay off someone who he sexually harassed with a horse.
That's crazy. I mean, it's very
so
funny
weird.
as a story, but disgusting in reality. But
Oh
with
no,
a
he's
horse.
a sex pest, and we know from the Epstein files that he was so pathetic that he tried desperately to get to the island and was rejected by Epstein. Not even cool enough to be in the pedo club. Jesus
The thing is, though,
Christ.
he's so desperate to be cool and
Yeah.
to be relevant in some way, and
Yeah.
actually, he's making himself look even more ridiculous every
Yeah.
time he tries.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to another comment. Pennywise says, I would like to share a beer with Kevin.
Okay, as long as you're not actually Pennywise, then yeah. Okay. I'm
There can
okay
only be
with
one Pennywise, and that's you.
that. Exactly. You know what? I would genuinely turn up as a clown with a balloon for the bit.
Oh my god.
Oh, who's the Pennywise now, motherfucker? You want to take one of my balloons?
That's so fucked up. Have you seen both the films? I've seen the first.
I saw the first one. Yeah.
Fucking shit.
I saw the
aren't they?
first one as well. I'm
It
not a horror
is.
fan, I can't
It
lie.
is. It is
Not for
shit,
me.
to be honest. Yeah. Oh, well, I'm not a massive horror fan either, but I just thought, like, it seems like a culturally
To be fair,
relevant
yeah, I
talking
don't think
point.
actually it was, but yeah, true.
John the Brazen says,
Also, Stephen King, another one in the fucking Epstein files. Just saying.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
he was like, oh, actually, maybe we shouldn't be speaking about the Epstein files so much. It's because you're in it. John
Yes.
the Brazen says, I could drink Kevin under the table.
Yeah, but I would be under the table for different reasons. Just saying.
He's such a charmer, isn't he? Jim Speak Again says TL Friday vibes are always fun. Has it been fun despite all the fucking tech issues?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, to be fair, there weren't that many tech issues.
was
Once
only at the
once we
start.
got started, it was
True.
fine. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think our viewers are just over dramatic, aren't they?
I can't say what I think of them because of
Yeah, please don't.
terms of service. Yeah.
We love you. Please keep giving us money. And Jimsby says Rob got mugged. So this is obviously on Question Time. So I didn't get a chance to see the entire Question Time. You did with Helena. Like overall, we showed. We tried to show the best clips, but was there other points too where you found that Kenya just did an absolutely terrible job?
Yeah, he's not actually a very good communicator. And again, I hate the bigotry of low expectations nonsense that people defend him with. Like, oh, he's working class. I'm sorry, when middle class people say that, what they actually mean is he's thick and racist, therefore you can't criticise him. Which is ridiculous. I'm a working class lad, grew up on a council estate, and I can speak in full sentences and opine on ideas that I have. He can't. He's an idiot. He's just a fucking idiot. And revealed himself as such.
There was one clip. I don't know what the question was, but you could just see his brain working to like try and remember all the different talking points he obviously has been told to try to get in, and he just like word vomited them all into this like one bit that actually had like very little relevance to
what they've
question that
done,
was being asked.
they've tried to give him some media training, and it's actually made him worse, I think, because now he doesn't come across as a normal person who can't talk very well. He now comes across as if they've shaved a chimp and put it in a fucking suit. Like he doesn't know. He doesn't look. He doesn't seem like a real person anymore. He just seems like a crazy, evil robot boy. You know.
Would you think he's actually had media training?
I think so. You
I
can
feel
tell
like they will have done.
Yeah, you can tell there's a kind of rhetorical talking tree that he's trying to remember because they've told him to say these
you
things.
can just see the cogs working in his brain.
And he does that thing now where, again, it's a very
Not very
politician thing
successfully, but-
of saying things like, I've already made a statement on this issue. Okay, well, tell us then. What did
Do
you
it
say?
again.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we don't fucking follow every media statement you put out there. Tell us what you think about this thing. And he can't remember because it was written by somebody else. He doesn't
For
really.
me, it was
yeah.
when they were in that clip about the sexist comments. She starts asking him something, and he just kind of butts in with allegedly. And it's like,
What, you're allegedly sexist? What? Well, yeah.
yeah,
It doesn't.
It's like
yeah,
someone's obviously told him, don't admit that you did anything, or you said anything. If they get any accusations of anything, just say they're allegedly or whatever. Like it was just a very like weird point for him to like come in right there and just say allegedly.
But
Oh, you're sexist, allegedly.
There is one thing I think can be learned. Now, I think you made the good point about adults apologising when they get things wrong. But apologising for the sake of apologising is a mistake that I think the Green Party make too often. Because there are points that people will make about, say, Israel and Palestine that get accused of being anti-Semitism. And rather than saying, no, it isn't, and moving on, which would be perfectly fine to do, because, again, people who are likely to vote for the Green Party won't care that they're being smeared, because they're used to being smeared as anti-Semites. They've seen it being done with Jeremy Corbyn for years. And they don't care. It's the boy who cried wolf syndrome type thing. And so you shouldn't apologise for those things. You should just move on. Because the people asking for an apology aren't asking it in good faith. And it actually rhetorically works. Because even though he should apologise for that, he was able to sort of brush past the issue just about well enough to keep himself above water. And the Green Party can learn from that as a tactic, I think.
Not really, Rachel Atwood, $2 super chat. Is Restore UK trying to buy a failed stolen joke? I'm so sorry, I don't get it.
Oh,
does anyone get the joke?
Okay, I titled my stream yesterday because the constituency is called Makerfield. So I titled it, "Why would anyone make a field?"
I think I jumped into your stream for a bit and I saw that because you were going to say...
Didn't say hello, did you?
No, I was only in and out. Sorry, I was lurking in the shadows.
You can go. You can go in and out anytime, son. Let's go.
You're gonna get. You're gonna get. And you wonder why to get a fucking Cenk Uygur interview.
He loves the gay sex jokes. What are you talking about? Let's go.
Fucking hit him up on Instagram then and see what happens.
Yeah, I'll slide into the DMs. Get a slice of Cenk. Yeah, let's go.
Hope you're hungry. You were gonna say.
I can't. Okay.
What was it? What was the because you were gonna call your stream title something else, and everyone made like the same joke, like Makerfield or.
Oh yeah, Makerfield. I hardly know her field. Like
I don't really get it though.
Her
make her field.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, dad jokes. Okay, moving.
It's not a dad joke. It's a modern meme. That's a relatively modern meme.
It's a modern meme.
Shut up! Shut up!
Curtis is chronically on Twitter, not chronically online, so he doesn't have any real like pop culture references or anything like that. So lots of things just completely go meme culture, all of that. Right over his head.
He's just a little Elon.
If it's not
Musk.
on Twitter, he's not seen it.
Elon Musk stan, isn't he? That's the problem.
Me?
Oh, I spend all day on X.
I still refer to it as Twitter, to be fair.
So do I.
Only dead naming that's acceptable. Duck Authority with a £4.20 super chat, very fitting. Loving this Jeremy Beadle tribute act.
Cut.
I had to bring it up because it was a super chat.
Yeah, Death to America. I don't know.
Alyssa, do you think Kev looks like Jeremy Beadle?
I don't look anything like fucking Jeremy Beadle.
Okay, no comment. No, joking.
No comment.
Oh, joking. I'm
That's
joking.
a political answer, isn't it?
Joking,
Yeah.
I'm just learning so much from doing this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's when it comes to Jeremy Beadle, you don't say anything. You let the viewers say it for you.
I say it with my
You're
eyes.
getting called a boomer in the chat, by the way.
I am a boomer. I
Yeah.
don't care. I'm a whatever. Call me whatever you want. You know, I'm a charming millennial boomer.
So
I don't have a house.
Keep going.
though,
Move on.
Or any assets.
Next comment.
I don't...
Come on.
Yeah. Michael, ban knives. How am I cutting my dinner up? So funny. So funny. We need to ban all knives.
Which again isn't a Reform Party policy. Oh yeah, Reform. Reform and Restore. Can you change your names to something slightly different?
innit?
It's too similar. I keep fucking messing it up in my head.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it was a Reform councillor who suggested we should have guns. So, I mean, that's going to be awkward between the two, isn't it?
That was a UKIP policy to repeal bans on handguns. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they're just such yank slop, fucking mentally dilapidated freaks.
I was just thinking that. I was like, why?
Yeah,
Just
no
because
one
they
wants
wanna
that.
be the American Party of the UK, like.
Yeah, no one
very
wants.
odd.
Conservatives don't want that. It's just like
That's the thing. So, to be fair, like that is something Reform will never do, because even though they are Yankified slop, they definitely understand that that's not popular, because people want like stricter policing, and the whole freedom thing. It's not really caught on here. The whole like Second Amendment thing. In America, freedom is a real big part of like American culture. Whereas we're quite authoritarian.
We don't have amendments here, which is a big.
Well, we don't really have a constitution. It's an unwritten constitution, which means it doesn't exist. It's a patchwork of laws. It's a joke. It kind of works, though, I guess, but whatever. It's. I will just clarify. I think a thing you said there. It's not so much a part of their culture. It's a part of their pretense of what they are. Freedom actually isn't a part of American culture. An organisation like ICE couldn't exist in a society that actually gives a fuck about freedom. What they are is a country that has slogans like freedom and independence.
Yeah. I mean, I was being sarcastic, but I realised you can't see me do air quotes because I'm not on camera. So just imagine in my head.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go to another. Adam Law. She's done a lot of good coverage, though. So this is about Sarah Wakefield. Again, you have seen the entire Question Time show. And Alyssa, I think I agree with you. She's very nice, like really, really pleasant.
And I think she has got some good things to say. But I think, she potentially at this stage, and I don't actually know her background at all, but maybe you could kind of say in this stage of her like political career, she's not quite strong enough.
Well, she isn't, and I will.
Very Green Party of the old, no, you not think?
Well, yes and no. She's in a slightly difficult situation because she revealed, I didn't know this. She's on maternity leave technically.
Yes, I
she was essentially drafted in last minute to be the candidate because the original candidate again said some stuff that was a bit off about anti-Semitism and stuff, and so he was removed after 12 hours, which is a bit. And so she was drafted in the last second. So as a last-minute replacement who's on maternity leave and is also a councillor, I believe, in the Greater Manchester area.
She just elected, wasn't she?
Yeah, like I think she's done a reasonable job, and she did a reasonable job on the show, based on most of the show. And then there's that one bit where she let herself down. And again, that's something to learn from because I think she does have a future. I think she's the kind of amiable person who speaks well and comes across well. If she can just beef up her rhetoric a little bit, I think she has a genuine future in sort of national politics if she wants that to happen.
When I've seen her, to be fair, when I've seen her on interviews, I think there was a BBC Manchester interview on the radio, and it was like the first couple of minutes was fine, and then it literally felt like a GB News tribute act. The radio presenter was asking nonsense questions, really stupid shit, and she handled herself really, really well, in like a nice way. I do think the Hope and Joy thing, I think that's trying to be what Mandani did, because a lot of things we've discussed on Turn Left, especially me and Ben McLean, is we want the Greens to be more aggressive, don't apologise. And me, for example, I said, Zach can kind of be a bit of an asshole. I do think there's another thing to think about too, which is that Mandani actually never came across as a bit of a dick. He came across as the sort of joyous sort of campaign. Like his campaign was very, very celebratory.
Yeah.
So I guess the Hope and Joy thing actually,
well, you need,
is trying to tune channel that. My view, when I hear Hope and Joy, though, I'm like, oh, it sounds kind of like again the Green Party of old, a bit too nice, but. I don't know, maybe they've got something going on here.
Well, firstly, you need a kind of combination of different things. You need some attack dog people like Polanski. You need some people who are going to go out there and like challenge reform on, a fighting fire with fire type basis. And you do need some nice people because, again, you've got to bear in mind that most of the people of this country are like weirdo normies. And so having nice people around softens that harsh image for people for whom that kind of optics really matters,
Yeah,
that's what I was kind of just thinking. I was like, actually, I think there's a lot to be said for being nice, especially like in the current kind of political climate that we find ourselves in. And I actually think if, likability is really important.
Yeah.
And sometimes, we can get really caught up on, we want, strong leaders. We want this, great image and but actually being nice, and also yes, being strong on your answers and your policies and that kind of thing actually is really important, and potentially you could be more likely to garner favor if you also come across as a nice person and likable, as Mamdani does. Do you know what I mean? You wouldn't say that he was weak in any way, but he is nice. They're not
very
two in the same.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, this is
yeah.
And I think a thing to learn from Mamdani is that niceness allows the smears to slide off you. Because as much as you try and demonise the guy and say, oh, he's an Islamist, blah, 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 he's just like the nice guy who's like, oh, we should fill in potholes and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
If you're doing stuff with a smile on your face...
They feel like normal people.
Yeah. If you do stuff
They
with
feel
like
like it could be your neighbor or a co-worker or something, and again, because my issue with politics, like I would class myself as a normie, but that is obviously more in tune with things politically than potentially the average person. But I don't know everything that there is to know. In fact, I feel like I don't know very much at all. But I think that there is a level of inaccessibility to politics that makes a lot of people switch off.
Yeah.
Whether it's terminology or
I think
whatever
we're
it
guilty
might
of it
be.
too.
Say again.
I think we're guilty of that a little bit too.
Yeah, like obviously we're in this sphere of politics, and with that comes a lot of talking points and vocabulary and whatever that you kind of can't really get around. But I do find that it can be quite alienating, and it shuts a lot of people off from getting involved in the conversation at all, which is then leaves people uneducated. But it's because they feel like it's not accessible to them, and I think a bit of niceness and likability could help to kind of combat that.
I disagree. I don't think the left use language that's alienating or disillusioning at all. And that to say otherwise is counter-revolutionary. And if you just think dialectically about the proletariat and the dictatorship of the bourgeoisie in a kind of dialectic sense, I think you'll come to the same conclusion. Otherwise, you get gulagged.
You got a point there. It's
yeah.
At this point, I knew what you're talking about as well.
Well, exactly. Yeah. No, that's the thing. The left speak in a language that no one else fucking talks. It's really annoying.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It's
There
like
was a
theory
comment-
brain. Oh, you're not a real leftist if you don't have loads of theory brain. No.
Also, can I just say,
Most people don't read theory.
I like Alyssa because she took me very seriously, like I wasn't going to do a joke. That's honestly, that innocence is so sweet. I love it.
Do more shows together, and that innocence will be gone.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, oh no, he disagrees with me.
No.
I know they sent you a message saying, "Oh, it's first time with Alyssa. Be nice," but I thought you'd be alright, wouldn't you?
Well, you said, oh, it's the third time she's hosting or something, and I thought, am I the person that you want on this? Then is that?
I think someone said in the chat earlier, like, "Oh, I was a bit worried you two
Yeah.
pairing, and now it's all good."
Yeah.
Fine.
We're okay, aren't we? It's just dialectical materialism.
Yeah, exactly. No, it is. It is.
What I was
Because the left like to unfortunately, there are and this is the thing. People who say that I was turned off the left by leftists are weak. Because I hate leftists as well. They're fucking annoying bastards. And I don't change my position on fucking transport policy on the basis that some dickhead on Twitter tried to woke scold me for saying fat once. Like, no, it's just people are annoying, and leftists love the smell of their own farts quite a lot. And love to seem much more intellectual than they actually are. Because most of the people who say read theory haven't read fucking theory.
Yeah, leftists are the most insufferable people, apart from right-wingers and centrists, is what I say. Basically, everyone in politics is insufferable, and the left aren't immune to that. But yeah, you're right. I hate it when people go, "Well, a leftist was mean to me, so now I'm a raging fascist far right-winger," and I'm like, so your entire worldview and your politics has changed because someone was mean to you, like that Drew Pavlou or whatever. Apparently, used to be a centrist, and then like some leftists were mean to him. Now he's like literally like a fascist. It's like, that's ridiculous. I can sit here and say, yeah, leftists can be fucking annoying, especially online, but I still believe in redistribution of wealth. I still believe in high taxes for the rich. I still believe in a democratic economy.
And I get it.
None of that has changed.
I get it, because like being right wing is a lot easier, because they try and look for like reasons to be at least fake friends with you. They're like, oh, are you racist? Yeah, I'm racist. Are you sexist? Yeah. Do you hate queer people? Not so much. Ah, never mind. We can be friends. I'll teach you how to hate the gays. Right? They like try and build a kind of thing. Whereas on the left, it's, you know, if you're not a vegan, well, why don't you fuck off into the trash bin of history, you fascist monster? Oh, for fuck's sake.
Benji here, gifted 5 turn left memberships. Thank you so much. And then Ollie with a £2 super chat, just Beadle. It's just the Beadle dot. I'm so sorry, Kevin, getting abused from our viewers. Vicky Clear with a £5 super chat. Curtis, you're perfect on Kev's channel, but can't hear you at all on your own channel. That was 8:25. Of course, I fixed it with the audio gate. I think there are people screaming in the chat saying, "Check the audio gate," and then I checked it. So thank you for that.
What was the what was the scandal of Audiogate? I don't remember that one.
So no, fuck off. I was about to explain what it means, and then you're like, yeah, just got it. Andrew Luke, £2. Was Turn Left's name chosen from the Doc 2 episode? I mean, it was obviously inspired by it, but it wasn't like, I'm going to name it after this episode. But it was just a term that got stuck on my head, and I couldn't think of anything because I wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I could not think.
Should have called it Turn Bent.
Anything.
Should have called it Turn Bent.
Should have called it Turn Bent.
Yeah.
I missed a trick. I should go back in time now because obviously someone called it Turn Bent only quite recently. And then another £2 from Andrew says, Curtis, please interview a couple of Burks. Great work. We will check them out.
Yeah, they're awesome. Yeah, I was on a stream with them the other day. They're a Welsh socialist guy from North Wales. Yeah, he's a good lad. Yeah.
Cool. We will check them out. Jim Speak at a cob for insights into the online far right scene. Yeah, I don't know. Is this a YouTube channel or?
I've never heard
so no, maybe leave a comment. And obviously that was what I showed earlier. And normally he does politics stream once a week, though. Alyssa, a wink.
I'm trying my best, guys.
Now, when you make fun of Kev, I'll call you tenant left. Oof. Well, I mean that's better than landlord left, I suppose, isn't it?
Yay, tenant left. I see what you've done there. Nice, nice.
I like how Curtis entertained it for a minute and just gave up, realizing he could not be asked coming up with a joke about Audiogate. That's true. I was like, oh. Can't be fucked. Anyway, just see if there's any more to go through. I think we're okay. All right, it's 10 to 9, so let's probably leave that there. I'll hand back to you now, Alyssa.
Thank you so much. Thanks for your comments, everybody, and thank you, Kevin, for joining. I hope you enjoyed our first show together. Hopefully, one of many.
Very much so. Yeah,
right.
I look forward to more in the future. Thank you for having me on.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you everyone who tuned in this evening. Remember, we go live every Monday, Wednesday and Friday at 7:30 p.m. You've been watching Normal Ivan Live. Of course I got to fluff the last line. You've been watching Normal Ireland Live. I'll see you next time.
Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler.
Thank you so much, mate.
Adolf Hitler. So I was doing my Hitler song. Do you mind?
You're still live, of course.
Yeah. Alyssa, I should probably explain. It was based on they had an outro once that was
I don't think she can hear you.
Oh, okay. Well, she did. I won't explain it then because she didn't hear me say Adolf Hitler song. Okay.
And she didn't hear that bit. I'll explain it to her in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, there's no after chat because of this software, but thank you so much for coming on, Kev. I'm assuming your audience can hear me, so thank you for watching. And I love you.
Okay, I love you too. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, for any new people, I'll do the Hitler song. Because they had an outro once, which was Jeremy Corbyn, and it was really cool because he actually met up with Jeremy Corbyn in some park in London or whatever, and he interviewed him and got Jeremy Corbyn to say something along the lines of for progressive media, subscribe to Turn Left or whatever it was, right? Which was a cool thing, which they used to use as an outro video. So I did the joke of him being like Hitler. So I used to sing Adolf Hitler to the tune of No Limits by whoever the fuck made that song in the 90s. I don't know. Anyway, so as a joke, playing into the kind of narrative that Jeremy Corbyn was anti-Semitic, which is, of course, absurd. Anyway, so, and it just became like a funny... Too Unlimited, that was it. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, so that's that stupid joke. Done. He went dogging with Jezza. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think they top and tailed Diane Abbott or anything. Although that would be fucking a sight for sore eyes. Support independent media, support turn left. That was it, yeah. Good memory, Vicky. Fucking hell. I can't remember shit. How much teasing do you deserve for cutting off Alyssa? Mansplaining. Oh, well, I do that with everyone. And it's not even mansplaining, it's just I love the sound of my own fucking voice, obviously. Ugh. Why don't you get Curtis to allow you to interview Jeremy Corbyn so you could call him Hitler to his face? Well, the thing is, I wouldn't call him Hitler to his face, because I don't actually think he's Hitler. It's just like an inside joke for us. If I ever met Jeremy Corbyn, I wouldn't call him Hitler. Because he's probably like not... He probably doesn't think it's very funny. Did you ever see this, Kev? I did see that. Did I not cover that? Maybe I did. I don't know. But yeah, Reform are fucking useless. We know this. Yeah. Curtis and Jezza Eiffel Tower. True! Let's go. Well, to be fair, it's not a matter of interrupting, right? You've got to bear in mind, when you're doing these live streams, like, you don't want there to be sort of dead air. You want there to be a flow of discussion, right? And so, having a slight delay in the broadcast means you think the other person has stopped talking, whereas actually they've just sort of stopped. They've paused, like, for a split second to continue their sentence. So you end up interrupting, not because you want to talk over them, but because there's a slight delay in the audio. So, yeah. Also, I'm never going to meet Jeremy Corbyn, so it's not a matter. It's not a problem. I would never call him Hitler, and I am not going to meet him. So it's not an eventuality we really need to worry about too much, chat. To be honest with you. Pardon me. Did a burpee burp. Jeremy should be allowed to chill and live out the rest of his political career. True. Jeremy, if you're listening, Jezza, come on for a chat, mate. I presume you are. I presume you're a big fan. You're a big fan of the show. He used to follow me on Twitter, back when it was Twitter, and several accounts ago. And I had that original account shut down because I told fascists to, let's say, play Roblox. Definitely play Roblox. Anyway, I'm gonna fuck off. Well, yeah, yeah. I'm just fucking rambling. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm going to be talking hopefully with Dylan Burns at some point over the weekend, I think. About, I mean, he's in Ukraine, so we'll probably talk about Ukraine and stuff, I imagine. Turn Left are apparently still live on YouTube, but I'm not going to go into them because they shouldn't be live. Some random geek is going, so I'll send you over there. Who is going on the Twitch machine? I bet Zach has heard Kev call Corbyn Hitler. What a sentence. What a fucking sentence. Casual Revolt. Do I know that person? Oh, yeah, no, I do. Yeah, I'll send you over to Casual Revolt. No, Zacap came in yesterday, didn't I? I'll send you over to Zacap. Yeah, go and say hello to Zacap. They're Australian. I don't know why I said that like that was a bad thing that like you need to make up for. They're Australian. Bear that in mind, yeah. No, I don't mean that. Yes. I will see you all tomorrow with... we might... I tell you what, we've done quite a lot of serious politics in recent days. So I might do a silly slop one or something. Get your suggestions in at the Discord. which is linked somewhere, and I'll yeah, we'll do a bit of a silly one, maybe. Maybe we'll have some full-on silly goose hours. None of this normal serious goose hours, okay? None of your serious hours of geese. No, the silliest of geese. Thank you all for listening and watching. Go and follow Turn Left on all of the platforms. Go and follow me on all of the platforms. Free Palestine. No pass around.